Good afternoon, or good morning, or good evening, depending on wherever you may be. We are so glad you could join us. Welcome all to our OTC Monograph Drug User Fee Program, or OMUFA, Understanding the Fiscal Year 2025 User Fees and Registration webinar. My name is Corey Adair, and I am with the Small Business and Industry Assistance, or SBIA program. I will be your host for today's session. Our SBIA program operates within the Division of Drug Information, or DDI, which in turn resides within FDA's Center for Drug Evaluation and Research, or CDER. Before we begin, we encourage you to connect with us. For your convenience, we've included QR codes to access SBIA on LinkedIn, X, YouTube, and via email updates. Scan the QR code with the camera on your cell phone. This will provide you with a link to SBIA on the platform for the QR code that you scanned. It's great to stay connected with SBIA social media platforms to learn about upcoming webinars, conferences, and regulatory information, and also to find recordings of past webinars and conferences. Now, let's turn our attention to some logistics. We appreciate you submitting your questions to us so that we have a vibrant and productive Q&A segment, which is so crucial to these events. A certificate of attendance, which will support continuing education, or CE credits, for RAPS, SOCRA, SQA, and ACRP is available upon request for 2 weeks. The deadline date for these requests is June 3rd. Recordings of today's events will be posted to the event webpage once available, which you can find on fda.gov/CDER-SBIA. We also invite you to visit our CDER Learn webpage, where you can find links to SBIA tutorials along with other educational resources, many of which offer CEs. That can be found at www.fda.gov/CDER Learn. While you're there, we also encourage you to review our 2 new on-demand webinars. That includes FDA CDER Overview, Certificates of Confidentiality, and CDER Bioresearch Monitoring, Electronic Submission Requirements for New Drug and Biologic Licensing Applications. It is now my pleasure to introduce today's presenters. First, we will hear from Commander Tramara Dam, Senior Program Manager in the Division of User Fee Management and the Office of Management within CDER at FDA. Then we will hear from Lieutenant Commander Yajun, or Jason 2, a Program Manager in the Division of User Fee Management and the Office of Management within CDER at FDA. Please join me in welcoming our first presenter, Commander Tramara Dam.
Hello, my name is Commander Tramara Dam, and I'm presenting with Lieutenant Commander Jason 2 on OTC Monograph Drug User Fee Program, Understanding Fiscal Year 2025 User Fees and Registration. During this presentation, we will cover what is OMUFA, registrations and listing, OMUFA user fee types, and FY 2025 key dates, COVID-19 hand sanitizer manufacturers, OMUFA FY 2025 target revenue and fee rates, fee payment process, penalties for failure to pay fees, and refund eligibility. First, we have a poll questions to gain some understandings of our audience knowledge and experience regarding the OMUFA program. Please note there is no wrong or right answer for these questions, and the question is, what is your knowledge and experience regarding the OMUFA user fee program? A, I consider myself an expert on OMUFA user fees. I understand the OMUFA fee structure and the fee paying process. B, I have limited knowledge of OMUFA user fees, and I'm aware that there may be fees associated with OTC Monograph drug activities. C, I have no knowledge of OMUFA user fees, and I'm not aware of any fees associated with OTC Monograph drugs activities. Please take a minute to answer these questions, and hopefully at the end of the presentations, we will get more A's and B's answers. What is OMUFA? The Coronavirus Aid, Relief, and Economic Security Act, known as the CARES Act, was signed into law on March 27, 2020. The CARES Act reforms and modernize the way OTC monograph drugs are regulated in the United States. The CARES Act added Sections 744L and 744M, authorizing FDA to assess and collect user fees from qualifying manufacturers of OTC monograph drugs and requesters of OTC monograph order requests, known as OMORs, which will be covered more in detail later. FDA refers to the OTC monograph drug user fee programs as OMUFA. What is the OMUFA user fee program? Like many user fees programs, OMUFA is modeled after the successful Prescription Drug User Fee Act, PDUFA. Under OMUFA, FDA is authorized to assess and collect user fees dedicated to OTC monograph drug activities for each of fiscal years 2021 through 2025. Under the OMUFA program, industry pay fees to help support FDA regulatory activities related to OTC monograph drugs, such as facility inspections and submissions reviews in a timely manner, and ultimately help provide the public with access to innovative OTC monograph drugs. In return, FDA agreed to adhere to performance goals negotiated by FDA and industry, including specific timeframes for conducting certain OTC monograph activities. The current legislative authority for OMUFA expires September 30, 2025. At that time, new legislations will be required to reauthorize the OMUFA program for future fiscal years. FDA has begun the statutorily directed negotiations process for developing recommendations to reauthorize OMUFA for fiscal years 2026 through 2030. If you would like to learn more about the reauthorizations process, you can access the FDA websites for meeting minutes and other information on the OMUFA reauthorizations progress. As you can see on the slides, some of the common OMUFA terminologies includes OTC monograph drug, which is a non-prescription OTC drug that may be marketed without approved new drug applications. Another term is OTC monograph drug facilities, also known as MDF, is a foreign or domestic business or other entity that is under one management, either direct or indirect, and it has one geographic locations or address, engage in manufacturing or processing the finished dosage form of an OTC monograph drug, and other requirements which I won't go into detail for the limited time we have. The term contract manufacturing organizations facilities, also known as CMO, is an OTC monograph drug facility where neither the owner nor any affiliate of the owner or facility sells the OTC monograph drug produced at such facility directly to wholesalers, retailers, or consumers in the United States. To differentiate the two, a CMO facility has the same function as MDF, but the products manufactured at the CMO facility are not directly sold to retailers, wholesalers, but instead are sold to another company, and that company sells it to retailers, wholesalers, or consumers in the United States. CMOs pays 2/3 of the amount of the fee paid by an MDF. The last term we have on this slide is OTC monograph order request. An OTC monograph order request, also referred as OMOR, is a request for an administrative order with respect to an OTC monograph drug, which is submitted under Sections 505GB5 of the FD&C Act. Under Sections 510 of the FD&C Act, requires companies that manufacture, prepare, propagate, compound, or process drugs in the United States, or drugs that are imported or offered for import into the United States, to register with the FDA. Facilities are required to review and update registration within the electronic drug registrations and listing system, also referred to as EDRLIS, and should use current structured product labeling, referred to as SPL, Business Operation Qualifier Codes, each year. Registering the facilities using the appropriate SPL Business Operation Qualifier Codes aids FDA in determining whether the facility is subject to an applicable OMUFA facility fee. For this reason, it is important that the facility understands the difference between MDF and CMO when registering with FDA. We use the facility self-registrations information to determine the annual facility fee. Companies may refer to the EDRLIS SPL webpage, included on the slide for relevant codes to accurately register. Finally, it is also important that the company contact informations and/or U.S. agent are up to date on the EDRLIS to avoid missing an invoice. These are the SPL Business Operation Qualifiers for facilities that manufacture OTC Monograph drug products. C131708 is company that manufactures human OTC drug products produced under a monograph, and this is also known as MDF. C131709 manufactures human OTC drug products produced under approved drug application. C131710 manufactures human OTC drug products not produced under an approved drug applications or under a monograph. An example of this is a company that manufactures homeopathic products. C170729 is a contract manufacturing for human OTC drug products produced under a monograph, and this is also known as the CMO. And this also includes those facilities with the business operations of analysis, pack, label, repack, and relabel. Under the CARES Act, FDA is authorized to assess and collect user fees dedicated to OTC monograph drug activities for each of fiscal year 2021 through 2025. There are two OMUFA user fee types: annual facility fees from qualified manufacturers of OTC monograph drugs and fees from requesters of OMORs. I wanted to emphasize that only the annual facility fees are included in the target revenue calculations, and OMOR's fees are not included in the target revenue calculations. The facility fees are due annually for qualifying manufacturers of OTC monograph drugs. A full facility fee will be assessed to each qualifying person that owns a facility that is identified as an MDF. The annual facility fee rate is dependent on how the facility registers in the EDRLIS. As mentioned previously, registering the facility in EDRLIS is self-registrant. Facilities need to identify which definition they meet, whether MDF or CMO. If the facility registers as an MDF, then the facility will pay an MDF fee. If the facility registers as a CMO, then the facility pays a CMO fee. If the facility registers as both an MDF and a CMO, the facility pays the higher fee, which is the MDF fee, and does not need to pay the CMO fee. The annual facility fee rates vary yearly. FDA calculates fees in accordance with the statutory authority, considering factors that include number of fee-liable facilities, ratio of MDF to CMO, and increases in the total target revenue due to inflations and other adjustments. The fee calculations are described in detail in the most recent Federal Register notice published on March 21, 25, if you're interested to learn more. Please note that payment of user fees under the PDUFA, GDUFA, or other user fee programs does not negate the need to pay OMUFA fees. For example, if a company already pays a prescription drug user fees under PDUFA and are also a qualifying person who owns an OTC Monograph drug facility, the company will also need to pay an OMUFA facility fee. How is the OMUFA facilities fee assessed? Under Section 744M(a) of the FD&C Act, each person that owns a facilities identified as an MDF, including CMOs, on December 31st of the fiscal year or any time during the preceding 12-month period is required to pay a facility fee for that fiscal year. For example, for FY 2025, if a facility was identified as an MDF or CMO in the JERLIS at any time during calendar year 2024, from January 1st, 2024 through December 31st, 2024, the facility would be assessed an FY 2025 fee. Please note that if the facilities manufactured an OTC monograph product even for one day from January 1st, 2024 through December 31st, 2024, the facility would be assessed an FY 2025 facility fee. The annual facility fee is assessed per facility. Currently, there are no waivers or reductions for the OMUFA facility fees according to the statute. Does the FY 2025 OMUFA facility fee apply to facilities that manufacture or process hand sanitizer products during the COVID-19 public health emergency? Consistent with the Department of Health and Human Services notice published on January 12, 2021, facilities are not identified as an OTC monograph drug facility and would not be assessed a FY 2025 OMUFA facility fee if they were not registered with FDA as OTC drug manufacturers prior to the HHS declarations of the COVID-19 public health emergency on January 27, 2020, registered with FDA on or after the declarations of the COVID-19 pandemic on January 27, 2020, and before the expirations of the COVID-19 pandemic on May 11, 2023. Register for the sole purpose of producing only hand sanitizer products during the COVID-19 pandemic and cease manufacturing hand sanitizer products and delisted and deregistered in EDERLIS before 12 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on December 31st, 2024. These facilities are not identified as an OTC monograph drug facility and would not be considered fee liable for purposes of FY 2025 OMUFA facility fees. Please note that if a facility was registered and manufactured hand sanitizer products on December 31st, 2024, the facility would be assessed the FY 2025 OMUFA facility fee. FDA communicated this deadline to stakeholders on multiple occasions, including in the FY 2024 OMUFA facility fee FRN presentations to industry and OMUFA listserv emails. Facilities that are not OMUFA fee liable for FY 2025 include facilities that manufacture human OTC drug products produced under an approved drug applications, manufacture human OTC drug products that are neither produced under an approved drug applications nor are they produced under a monograph. An example of this is manufacturers of homeopathic products. have ceased all activities related to OTC monograph drugs prior to December 31st of the year immediately preceding the applicable fiscal year and have updated their e-journal list registrations to reflect that change. For FY 2025, this date was December 31st, 2023. Only manufacture active pharmaceutical ingredient drug products first register with FDA on or after the January 27, 20, solely for purposes of manufacturing OTC hand sanitizer products and had ceased manufacturing hand sanitizer products and delist and deregister in a journalist accordingly before 12 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on December 31st, 2024. Continuing from the previous slide, facilities that engage in manufacture or process the finished dosage form only for the productions of clinical research supplies or testing or the placement of outer packaging on packages containing multiple products for such purposes as creating multi-packs when each monograph drug products contained within the over packaging is already in a final package form prior to placement in the outer over packaging. The agency considers over packaging where the individual drug products contained within our label with a complete drug facts label and could be marketed independently of the applied over packaging. These facilities are not OMUFA fee liable for FY 2025. This concludes my sections of the presentations. Thank you for your time. And now that I would like to pass the floor over to Lieutenant Commander Jason Tu.
Thank you, Commander Dan. Hello, my name is Lieutenant Commander Jason Tu. I will be going over the OMOR, Fiscal Year 2025 OMUFA Targeted Revenue and Fee Rates, Fee Payment Process, Penalties for Failure to Pay Fees, and Refund Eligibility. So what is an OMOR? The term OMOR, or OTC Monograph Order Request, refers to a request for an administrative order with respect to an OTC monograph drug. The function of an OMOR is to add, remove, or change a generally recognized as safe and effective or GREASE condition for an OTC drug monograph. OMORs are separated into two categories, Tier 1 or Tier 2, for which different fees apply. This slide provides some examples of Tier 1 and Tier 2 OMORs. A Tier 1 OMOR is any OMOR that is not determined to be a Tier 2 OMOR. Examples include addition of a new ingredient to a monograph that already has one or more ingredients that have been found to be GREASE. Addition of a new indication to a monograph that already has one or more ingredients that have been found to be GREASE, and the new indication applies to one or more of the GREASE ingredients. Addition of a new monograph therapeutic category. Tier 2 OMOR examples include reordering of existing information in the drug facts label, addition of information to the other information section of the drug facts label, modification to the direction for use section of the drug facts label consistent with a minor dosage form change, standardization of the concentration or dose of a specific finalized ingredient within a particular finalized monograph, change to the ingredient nomenclature to align with the nomenclature of a standards setting organization, addition of an interchangeable term. OMOR fees are due on the date of the submission of the OMOR, except for OMORs that request certain safety-related changes, which I will discuss in detail in the next slide. OMOR fees are not included in the OMUFA target revenue calculation, which is based on the facility fees. There are two types of OMOR fees, Tier 1 or Tier 2. Exceptions to the OMOR fee include any OMOR seeks to make certain safety changes with respect to an OTC monograph drug. And also, if FDA finds that the OMOR seeks to change the drug facts labeling of an OTC monograph drug in a way that would add to or strengthen a contraindication, warning, or precaution, a statement about risk associated with misuse or abuse, or an instruction about dosage and administration that is intended to increase the safe use of the OTC monograph drug. As mentioned in the previous slide, only facility fees are included in the OMUFA target revenue calculation. For fiscal year 2025, the OMUFA target revenue is $36,467,000 rounded. The OMUFA facility fee will be due on June 2nd, 2025. The OMUFA OMOR fees are due on the date of the submission of the OMOR. Please refer to the fiscal year 2025 OMUFA facility fee FRN published on March 21st, 2025, and the fiscal year 2025 OMUFA OMOR fee FRN published on July 31st, 2024 for details on fee requirements and fee rates. This slide depicts the fiscal year 2025 OMUFA fee rates. For fiscal year 2025, MDF fee is $37,556, and CMO fee is $25,037. A CMO pays 2/3 of the amount of the fee paid by an MDF. The fiscal year 2025 Tier 1 OMOR fee is $559,777, and the Tier 2 OMOR fee is $111,955. So what is the fee payment process? To submit payment to fulfill your OMUFA user fee obligations, you may access the FDA's user fee system to create an OMUFA user fee cover sheet. You need to provide specific information for each fee type. For example, for facility fee, you need to provide IVN number of the facility on the cover sheet. Submit a copy of a signed cover sheet to generate the cover sheet number and then pay the appropriate fees. Payment must be made in US currency from a US bank by either pay.gov or wire transfer. For payment made by pay.gov, you may use either an automated clearinghouse electronic check or e-check, or a credit card with a limit amount of under $25,000. For payment made by wire transfer, include the unique user fee ID number that is either the cover sheet number or the invoice number to ensure that the payment is applied to the correct fees. Without the unique user fee ID number, the payment may not be applied, which could result in consequences of non-payment. The originating financial institution may charge a wire transfer fee. Applicable wire transfer fees must be included with payment to ensure fees are fully paid. There are penalties for failure to pay OMUFA user fees. For OMOR fee, if a person owing fees fails to pay the appropriate fees when submitting an OMOR, that OMOR shall be considered incomplete and shall not be accepted for filing. For facility fee, if a facility does not pay the annual facility fee within 20 calendar days of the due date For fiscal year 2025, this date is June 22nd, 2025. FDA will place the facility on a publicly available arrears list. Additionally, all OTC Monograph drug products produced at that facility or containing an ingredient manufactured at that facility shall be deemed misbranded. Furthermore, OMORs will not be accepted from persons owing fees in arrears from failure to pay the OMOR or facility fee, and OTC Monograph drug meeting requests from persons owing fees will be denied or canceled. This slide shows how interest and penalties accrue and are charged at various time points after the invoice due date. I will use fiscal year 2025 as an example throughout the slide. The first column shows 1 day after invoice due date. For example, June 3rd, 2025. Interest begins to accrue daily at the rate set by the U.S. Department of Treasury. The accrued interest will not be charged if paid prior to the 30th day, for example, July 2nd, 2025. Additionally, penalty of 6% per year begins to accrue daily. The accrued penalties will not be charged if paid prior to the 90th day, for example, August 31st, 2025. The second column shows 30 days after invoice due date, for example, July 2nd, 2025. The accrued interest for the first 30 days, for example, from June 3rd, 2025 to July 2nd, 2025, is charged if not paid prior to this date. Interest and penalties continue to accrue daily. The third column shows 90 days after invoice due date. For example, August 31st, 2025. The accrued penalties for days from day 1 to day 90, for example, from June 3rd, 2025 to August 31st, 2025, is charged if not paid prior to this date. Interest and penalties continue to accrue daily until the fees are paid in full. FDA issued fiscal year 2025 OMUFA facility user fee invoices on April 21st, 2025. FDA will send an email reminder via delivery to the listserv subscribers of the fiscal year 2025 OMUFA facility user fee due date on June 2nd, 2025. FDA's debt servicer, Treasury's Centralized Receivable Service, or CRS, will send 30, 60, and 90-day dunning letters to the company if the invoice and/or associated fees are outstanding. CRS does not accept international companies currently, and FDA sends the 30, 60, and 90-day invoices to those companies. So who is entitled to a refund? For any OMOR that is refused for filing or withdrawn before being accepted or refused for filing shall be refunded 75% of the OMOR fee. If FDA recharacterizes the OMOR from a Tier 1 request to a Tier 2 request, the difference in the OMOR fee shall be refunded. Please note that the above situations do not require a written refund request to be submitted to FDA. Unlike the refunds we discussed in the previous slide, which do not require a written refund request, refunds for overpayments or payments made in error must be requested in writing within 180 calendar days of payment. A written request along with a completed Form FDA 3913 should be submitted to the Division of User Fee Management. If you are assessed a fiscal year 2025 OMUFA facility fee and believe your facility is not an OTC monograph drug facility, as described in FDA's March 21st, 2025 FRN, please contact us at cdercollections@fda.hhss.gov. In conclusion, I'd like to summarize the key takeaways from today's presentation. We have discussed the OMUFA background and common OMUFA terms, registration and listing within the electronic drug registration and listing system using the current structured product labeling, OMUFA user fee types and fee rates, which include the MDF and CMO facility fees, and Tier 1 and Tier 2 OMOR fees, fee payment process, and lastly, penalties for failure to pay OMUFA user fees. If you would like more information, here is a list of useful resources. We've reached to the end of the presentation, and now I have 4 challenge questions. Challenge question number 1. The fiscal year 2025 facility fee liable period is A. From October 1st, 2024 through September 30th, 2025. B. From June 1st, 2024 through May 31st, 2025. C. From January 1st, 2025 through December 31st, 2025. D. From January 1st, 2024 through December 31st, 2024. The correct answer is D. From January 1st, 2024 through December 31st, 2024. Challenge question number 2. True or false? Waivers and reductions to OMUFA facility fee are not authorized under the statute and thus not available. True or false? The correct answer is true. Waivers and reductions to OMUFA facility fees are not authorized under the statute and thus not available. Challenge question number 3. What are the types of user fees under OMUFA? Select all applicable. A. Application fee. B. Monograph drug facility or MDF fee. C. OTC Monograph order request or OMOR fee. D. Contract manufacturing organization or CMO fee. E. All the above. F, B, C, and D. The correct answer is F, B, C, and D. So the types of user fees under OMUFA are MDF fee, OMOR fee, and CMO fee. Challenge question number 4, true or false? If a facility is both an MDF and a CMO, they will pay both fees. True or false? The correct answer is B, false. If a facility is both an MDF and a CMO, they will only pay the MDF fee.
Excellent. Thank you again to our presenters for the excellent presentations and the experts today for their insightful discussion. We will now begin our question and answer panel with today's presenters. We will answer as many questions as time allows. So my first question is for Commander Tram here. So the first one, it will come in 2 pieces, just so you're aware. If you'd like for me to repeat them, just let me know here, Commander Dam here. So the first one is, my company first registered with FDA during the COVID-19 public health emergency for the sole purpose of producing hand sanitizer products during the COVID-19 pandemic. However, I didn't deregister my registration and I let my registration lapse, and I believe it was expired on December 31st, 2024. I have 2 questions. The first, is my company fee liable for the fiscal year 2025 OMUFA fee? And number 2, what should our company do if we didn't manufacture any hand sanitizer products on December 31st of 2024?
Thank you, ma'am, for the questions. And this is a very good questions because we get a lot of inquiries about this question. So thank you for that questions. To answer the first part of the question is my facility, my company fee liable for FY 2025? Yes. Companies that continue to manufacture hand sanitizer products as of December 31st, 2024 are identified as OTC Monograph drug facilities and are subject to an OMUFA facility fee for FY 2025. For the second part, what should the company do? So if you believe your facility does not meet the definitions of an OTC monograph drug facility, and you are not liable for the OMUFA facility fee, as described in the March 21, 2025 FRN, please contact the OMUFA user fee staff at cedercollections@fda.hhs.gov. Thank you.
Thank you for that response. My next question for you, Commander Dam. Could you please clarify the fee liable period for fiscal year 2024, 2025, and 2026?
Another excellent questions, and we do have a lot of questions on about the fee liable period. So under Section 744 MA of the FD&C Act, each person that owns a facility identified as an OTC monograph drug facility as of December 31st of the fiscal year or any time during the preceding 12 months shall be assessed an annual facility fee for each for such facility. So for example, for FY 2024, if your company is engaged in the manufacture or processing of OTC monograph drug products at any time during calendar year 2023, which is January 1st, 2023 through December 31st, 2023. Your facility would be assessed an FY 2024 facility fee. Same concept for FY 2025. So if your company manufacture or process OTC drug products during calendar year 2024, which is January 1st, 2024 through December 31st, 2024, your facility would assess the facility fee for FY 2025. And similar to FY 2026, because we are waiting for the OMUFA reauthorizations for FY 2026 to 2030, therefore, I will make an assumption for the purpose of answering these questions that if the enactment is to happen, for FY 2026, the facility that engaged in manufacture or process OTC monograph drug products at any time during calendar year 2025, January 1st, 2025 through December 31st, 2025, the company will be assessed the FY 2026 facility fee. I just want to put a note out there that please note that if the facility register and manufacture for just one day only during the calendar year, between January 1st through December 31st, 2024, the facility would be assessed an FY 2025 facility fee. Thank you.
Thank you for that response. My next question is for Lieutenant Commander 2. The first question is, I have 2 facilities. Do I need to pay 2 OMUFA facility fees?
Thank you. This is a great question. I know this is confusing for many facilities, especially for the new facilities. So the answer really depends on the geographic locations. If the same company's 2 facilities manufacture OTC monograph drug products, and they are in different geographic locations, then each facility would pay an annual facility fee. However, separate buildings within close proximity are considered to be at one geographic location or address if 1, the activities in them are closely related to the same business enterprise, 2, they are under the supervision of the same local management, and 3, they are under a single IVI number and capable of being inspected by FDA during a single inspection. So if they meet all these three criteria, then we will only assess one facility fee for the two separate buildings. Thank you.
Thank you for that response. My next question for you, Lieutenant Commander 2, is this. If my company is registered with FDA, but we don't have any product listed, would my company be fee liable?
That's another great question. We receive a lot of questions similar to this. So yeah, so if you do not have any active OTC drug products listed and your facility is not manufacturing any OTC drug products, then your facility does not meet the definition of an OTC monograph drug facility, and you are not liable for the OMUFA facility fee. We recommend that you update your EDLS registration to inactive status if you do not have any active drug listed, and if your facility is not manufacturing, to avoid any future confusion. Thank you.
Thank you for that response. My next question is for Commander Dam. When will the fiscal year 2025 OMUFA facility fees be due, and what is the fee liable period?
Good questions. Thank you for that questions. So the facility fee for FY 2025 is due on the first business day of June 2025. So for this year, fiscal year 2025, it is June 2nd, 2025. And this is for facilities that engage in manufacturing or processing OTC drug product at any time during calendar year 2024, which is January 1st, 2024 through December 31st, 2024. Thank you.
Thank you for that response. My next question for you, Commander Dam. If I registered my facility and listed the OTC drug products during calendar year 2024, however, my company was not ready to manufacture and we hadn't manufactured any OTC products during the fee liable period for fiscal year 2025, what should we do?
Excellent questions. Again, we mentioned this in our presentation. So if you believe that your facility does not meet the definition of an OTC monograph drug facility, and you are not liable for the OMUFA facility fee, as described in the March 21, 2025 FRN, please contact the OMUFA user fee staff at cdcollections@fda.hhs.gov. Thank you.
Thank you for that response. My next questions will be for Lieutenant Commander 2. Will FDA issue a fiscal year 2025 OMUFA facility user fee invoice to those facilities who are fee liable for fiscal year 2025? If so, when?
That's a good question. I think if you pay attention to our presentation earlier, we indicated that FDA issued the fiscal year 2025 OMUFA facility user fee invoices on April 21st, 2025. So we decided to issue the invoice earlier this year compared to last year. So if you believe your facility is fee liable for fiscal year 2025 and haven't received an invoice, please contact the OMUFA user fee staff at cdcollections@fda.hhs.gov. Thank you.
Thank you for that response, Lieutenant Commander 2. My next question for you is this. If our company decides to stop manufacturing OTC drug products, by when do we need to deregister to avoid incurring the fiscal year 2026 facility fee?
That's a good question. That's also can be answered like the previous questions, like the fee liable period, right? That's another fee liable period question. So facilities are not fee liable if they have ceased all activities related to OTC monograph drugs by December 31st of the year immediately preceding the applicable fiscal year and have updated their EDLS registration to reflect that change. So please note that the OMUFA 2 including fiscal year 2026, is under reauthorization, as Commander Dan mentioned earlier. So once the enactment is authorized, so the date is December 31st, 2024 for fiscal year 2026, which means you need to deregister by December 31st, 2024 to avoid incurring the fiscal year 2026 facility fee. Thank you.
Thank you for that response. My next question is for Commander Dam. Can you please provide a status update on the OMUFA 2 reauthorization?
Thank you. Thank you for that questions. I mentioned this, I think as part of my presentations earlier, that FDA has begun the statutory directed negotiation process and for the recommendations to reauthor OMUFA for fiscal year 2026 through 2030. Please visit the FDA OMUFA website, followed at the bottom for more information on the reauthorizations. Thank you.
Thank you for that response. My next question for you, Commander Dam. Would distributor, seller, and marketing company be liable for the OMUFA facility fee? And if my company would only distribute OTC drugs and does not manufacture, do I have to pay?
This is a very good question, and we receive a lot of questions on this. And this is more for registrations but we'll answer this question. So if a company only distributes, sells, or marketing drug products and does not manufacture, pack, or relabel, they are not OMUFA facility fee liable. So if a company only distribute a drug product and does not manufacture, pack, or relabel or label, then they do not register. If your company happened to register for distributing, please deregister and update the listing to identify the registered establishment that does manufacture the OTC products. Hopefully this answer helps. Thank you.
Thank you for that response. My next question is for Lieutenant Commander 2. I am a new OTC Monograph drug facility, and I plan to register my company now. Does this mean I have to pay a fiscal year 2025 OMUFA facility fee?
Okay, thank you. This is another user fee liable period question asked in a different way. So the fiscal year 2025 OMUFA facility fee is applicable to those that were involved in manufacturing or processing of OTC monograph drugs during calendar year 2024, which is from January 1st, 2024 through December 31st, 2024. If you register today, you would not be fee liable for fiscal year 2025. However, you may be liable for the fiscal year 2026 OMUFA facility fee based on your registration and manufacturing processes. Thank you.
Thank you for that response. My next question for you, Lieutenant Commander 2. Our facility hasn't been able to produce since 2023. Can we get a refund of user fees for the years when no production occurred?
Thank you. That's a great question. I think I covered this during my presentation. So to qualify for the return of a fee claimed to have been paid in error, a person shall submit a written request to FDA requesting the return of the fees paid within 180 calendar days after the payment receipt date. That person shall provide a written request along with a completed form FDA 3913 to the OMUFA user fee staff at CDER collections at fda.hhs.gov. Thank you.
Thank you for that response. My next question is for Commander Dam. If my facility is both an MDF and a CMO, do we pay both fees?
Thank you for this questions. And I believe this is also our questions for the poll questions. So if your company is both registered as both MDF and CMO, you only need to pay the higher fee, which is the MDF fee, and you are not liable for CMO. If you register both MDF and CMO, again, you only liable for MDF fee. Thank you.
Thank you for that response. And my next question for you, Commander Dam. Do large companies and small companies pay different fees? Why isn't there a, quote, small business waiver, end quote?
Thank you for this questions, and we receive a lot of questions on this as well too. So thank you for the questions. So all companies pay the same applicable fee. So it doesn't matter whether you produce 100 or 1,000 or one products. You pay the same fee regardless of size. In addition, currently there is no statutory authority under OMUFA for any waivers or reductions of facility fee based on the business side or business revenue. All facilities are liable for the same facility fee amount as calculated according to Section 744M. Thank you.
Thank you for that response. My next question is for Lieutenant Commander 2. Is the fiscal year 2025 OMUFA facility fee assessed per product or per facility?
Thank you for the question. I think this question is similar to the question Commander Dan just answered. So the fiscal year 2025 OMUFA facility fee is assessed per facility, not per product. So whether your facility manufactures one product or like 5,000 products, that facility would only be assessed one facility fee. That is either MDF fee or CMO fee. Thank you.
Thank you for that response. My next question for you. Are payment installations or extensions available for OMUFA facility fees?
Thank you. That's a great question. Unfortunately, there are no payment installments or extensions available for the OMUFA facility fees. The OMUFA facility fees must be paid in full by the due date. For fiscal year 2025, the due date will be June 2nd, 2025. Thank you.
Thank you for that response. My next question is for Commander Dam. If I stop manufacturing and delist or deregister today, do I still have to pay the fiscal year 2025 OMUFA facility fee?
Thank you for the questions, and another great questions because we get a lot of inquiries on these questions, and the answer is yes. Although you have delist and deregister your company, the FY 2025 OMUFA facility fee obligation remains for the manufacture or processing of OTC Monograph drugs that took place during the fiscal year 2025 fee liable period, which is January 1st, 2024 through December 31st, 2024, as described on in the March 21, 2025 FRN. Thank you.
Thank you for that response. And it looks like we have time for one more question today. This question will be for Commander Dam. If I stop manufacturing let's see here, how to determine if my facility is a CMO, or what are the criterion to be considered a CMO facility?
Another great questions, and I believe I also touched base this in my presentation sections. So the difference between MDF and CMO is that for CMO facility, the company does not sell their OTC products directly to wholesalers, retailer, or consumer in the United States. If you are still unsure about your facility operations, whether it's a CMO, and if those operations meet the definitions, and you need to, I guess, clarify or have questions, please contact us, the OMUFA user feed staff at cedercollections@fda.hhs.gov, so that we can help you and assist with your questions. Thank you.
Thank you for that response. And that looks like that is all the questions that we have time for today. Thank you again to our presenters for the excellent information. Now, we have a few final reminders as we close out our day today. First, our recordings will be posted on our website once the recording is available. You can find that at www.fda.gov/CDER-SBIA. Also, a reminder that a certificate of attendance is available upon request for the next 2 weeks. The deadline for that is June 3rd. Thank you again to all who participated today. This concludes our webinar session, and we do hope that you have a good rest of your day.